All right, so today is the day that we are going to put head to head the Andar Aspen and the Bullstrap leather case for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, before we get started, please, everybody in the comments, make sure you guys are respectful to each other. Some people will like the Aspen more, some people will like the Bullstrap more. At the end of the day, these are both great cases. Both of them are really good full grain leather cases, and I think no matter which one you get, you will enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the way I want to go ahead and do this video is I want to step around both of these cases. We'll try them on, we'll test the MagSafe, we'll test the buttons, and we'll see which one's my favorite. I want to know which one your guys' favorite down in the comments below, and we'll go from there. Now, links to both of these will be in the description down below, so feel free to go ahead and check them out. And I do have a discount code for Andar that you guys can use. I'll pop that right here on the screen, as well as down in the description below. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we do anything, let's go ahead and bring over our scale, and we will weigh these. Now, I have a dedicated video for both of these cases, and I'll make sure I leave those links down in the description below too, maybe in the end card as well, but you guys can feel free to check out the full review of both of these cases. Both are excellent. So let's go ahead and set these to the side real quick. We'll get our scale here. It is down in grams, and we'll get started. So weighing the Aspen first, we're looking at 37 grams. And moving over to the Bullstrap, we're also looking at 37 grams. So in terms of weight, both of these are exactly the same weight. So that's great. Let's go ahead and move along. So let's go ahead and take our iPhone 15 Pro Max in the black titanium. We'll slap it into the Bullstrap first, then into the Aspen, and we'll go from there. So into the Bullstrap, let's hear that click. Not too much of a click, and it's probably going to be the same with the Aspen just because these are full grain leather cases. You know, they're not going to provide you that really nice snap you would from like an aramid fiber case or a TPU type of material case, but these are going to both be on there really well. Now let's listen to those corners. Nice clicks on those corners, and I remember from the video, these two are a little bit of a weaker click than the top corners, but that's not to worry. It's a great fit onto the case. So taking a look at the buttons, very nice stainless steel buttons on here. We did test those out in the full review, but let's listen to them. Nice clicky buttons on there, and the biggest thing that I had the issue with this case in my review and still to this day is this open bottom down here. Now, I am somebody, as you guys know, who holds their phone just like this all the time when I'm using it, and that bottom edge, although it's not sharp, it's thick, it's raised, and it really digs into your pinky right there, to where after a few minutes of using this case, I do have to switch hands just because it's digging in there, and you can even get a little bit of an imprint in your finger after a while. So that is something I definitely have to knock this case for, as well as, to me, it feels a little bit thicker than the Aspen, but it definitely feels like it has a little bit more grip than the Aspen. Now, the Aspen's leather is kind of waxed, so it's not slippery by any means. However, this one is just that full grain leather with absolutely no coating on there or anything like that. So the grip on this case is definitely a little bit better than the grip on the Aspen. Now, taking a look at that camera and the screen protection, first off the screen, I am using a tempered glass screen protector on my phone, and we do have a little bit of a screen lip right there, so you can set this down on its screen, as well as a small camera lip right there that you guys can set it on its back. Now, another key difference here that we look at is the camera ring. Now, the camera ring on the Bullstrap is leather, so it's leather all around, whereas on the Aspen, it's the same metal material that it is on the buttons, and we'll look at that in a second. But I really do wish that this had a little bit better protection for the camera, maybe a little bit more raised than what it is right now, just because I feel like depending on which surfaces you're using this on, something that's not completely flat like this may end up scratching up your camera lens or damaging it, anything like that. Whereas on the Aspen, it's just a little bit more of a camera lip on the bump right there, but we'll take a look at that. Now, let's take and test over our MagSafe. I do want to do 2 tests. I'm going to bring over the Apple MagSafe wallet and the Anker 623. The Apple MagSafe battery pack we usually do, that has a silicone material here, so it's going to pretty much work well on any case, but I want to put these two side by side, especially with a leather on leather product. So let's set this off to the side here, and let's test out the Apple MagSafe wallet. Now we're going to set that on there. We do have our MagSafe animation, and we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of a pocket test right there, and it is going to slide on here. So you move it a little bit and it's gonna start to slide. So that is definitely something to note with this case, that leather on leather, or maybe even your fine woven Apple wallets on this specific leather case, it will slip, off of the phone when you put it in your pocket or your purse. If it touches on the top, it is fairly easy to get off, which is something I don't like. Now bringing over the Anker 623, let's go ahead and give it our 360-degree rotation test. I was able to get that off. Let's try one more time. Give it a nice little, and if you push it from a certain side when you're spinning it, now most people don't sit here and really spin it like that, but pretty good MagSafe on there, and it is picking up our MagSafe base, and let's see how we can shake it in order for it to come off. Now, this is just fairly light shaking, and again, this isn't the craziest MagSafe on here. You're not going to get the type of MagSafe that you'd be getting on like a Phone Rebel or a Pataka case. It's not as strong, but still very, very good MagSafe on here. So giving it a little bit of a shake, it does come off. So we had our 360-degree rotation test and a little bit of a shake for the stand, and a little bit of a shake comes off. Now, let's go ahead and take the Aspen and put this on. And one more detail is, this one is just a little bit kind of difficult to get off. If you start off here at the bottom and work kind of one side off, you're able to get it off of there and take it off. Now, I know not everybody likes their camera ring being touched on their phone, but that's just the way I was able to take the case off. Let's give this a little bit of a wipe down here, and that's the way I was taking this one off. Now, moving along to the Aspen, let's hear how that is going to sound when it clicks on. About the same click as it is with the Bullstrap. And let's test out those corners. So, 1, 2. Ooh, that was a good click. Let's try this one more time. So, the camera ring corner definitely has a more pronounced click than the left-hand side corner. But here we do have it completely closed. So, 3, 4. So, pretty decent clicks on there. That camera ring click is going to be the best one out of all 4 of them. But just starting off, this case definitely feels thinner. Now, as far as how thick they actually are, not sure if you guys can see that. They look on camera and to the eye just about the same thickness. However, it definitely feels thinner in the hand with this case, with the Aspen. So as far as with holding it, and even the sides, just like, from left to right, the thickness of the sides feels a little bit thinner on the Aspen and a little bit more comfortable and shape-fitting to the phone than the Bullstrap is. Now, I've heard that if you use the Bullstrap, the entire time and you don't take it off for a while, it will mold a little bit better to your phone, but that doesn't really change the thickness of the sides of the case. 1 and 2, I don't know how you guys are, but I have a ton of cases. You guys saw my top 10 video, and that's just only 10 of them plus the 3 that didn't make the list. And right in front of this, camera angle right here, I have a bunch of cases. Down on the floor over there, I have a bunch of cases. So there's a ton of cases, and I'm just not somebody who can, get one case, keep that on for days, months, weeks, whatever. That's just not me. And I'm giving you guys my impressions on both of these cases from using them for a few days each. I've had the Aspen for a good bit longer than I have with the Bullstrap, but I have been putting the Bullstrap through its paces. I've definitely been using it. So I have the experience with both of these cases. They both fit great. They both feel great. But to me, the Aspen just feels a little bit better in the hand. So that point does have to go to the Aspen. Now, as far as for the slipperiness of it, the Bullstrap feels a little more grippy. So the point has to go to Bullstrap on that one because it definitely has a little bit better grip than the Aspen does. So moving along to the Aspen's buttons, and that's one part that I really love about it, especially since they fixed that action button and they actually gave us a button rather than having the cutout. The buttons on the Aspen are so good. Now, they're not bad on the Bullstrap, but if you guys can see, they're kind of like, and I mentioned this in my review, they're not as pronounced as they are on the Aspen. Let me put them side by side so you guys can kind of see it that way. And if you can see, the button on the Aspen is definitely, and even though it's a, a red on black color, that's got nothing to do with it. The button itself is definitely more pronounced and visible. Let me see if I can show you guys there. Definitely more pronounced and visible than on the Bullstrap, and that goes for all of the buttons. So I do wish on the Bullstrap that the buttons were a little more pronounced, so if it is in your pocket or anything, now you can feel these in your pocket, and especially when the case is on there, they kind of poke out a little tiny bit more, but not nearly as much as the Andar, and it just feels really good to click all these buttons. Let's listen to how they sound. Now, the buttons on the Aspen are much clickier than on the Bullstrap. So the point of the buttons definitely goes to the Aspen. Now, both of these are metal buttons, and the camera ring on the Aspen is metal, whereas on here it's leather. I really do like the fact that this is metal just because it adds a little bit more protection. And if you get something like, the black case, you won't even be able to tell that there's a different, material camera ring. But I really like the way it looks on this technically red color. It's, the black and the red, those are my two favorite colors, so I may be a little bit biased as far as the color, but my favor on the color has nothing to do with the way that I like each of these cases. Now, moving along to where the biggest difference is for me is that bottom. The bottom on this case being closed versus the bottom on this case being open makes a night and day difference for me. Like I said, I hold my phone like this, and using the Aspen, you can hold it like this for hours, whether you're scrolling on TikTok, working, whatever you're doing, and there's absolutely no pinky fatigue when it comes to the bottom of this case. And that's huge for me because I do use my phone a lot. I work a lot from my phone. I answer a lot of YouTube comments. I'm on, different social medias, answering emails, doing just a whole bunch of stuff on this phone and just using any of my cases, and that's a big test that I put it through. So using this one definitely is more comfortable than the Bullstrap. So the point of usability and that bottom being closed definitely goes to the Aspen. Now let's take a look at the camera and screen protection. Like I said, same tempered glass screen protector. We do have a little bit of a screen lip, so we can set this down on its face and not worry too much. It's not a crazy screen lip, so I wouldn't really go setting its screen down on anything but a flat surface. But if you set it down, screen down on a flat surface, it won't scratch your screen up. And I really like that, number one, like I said, that this is a metal camera ring, but also it is definitely more pronounced of a camera ring than the Bullstrap is. So you can pretty much set this down on any surface on its back. And obviously, you may mess up the leather, but at least you're not going to mess up your camera. And it's a lot cheaper to replace a leather case than it is a camera on your iPhone 15 Pro Max. So definitely for the camera bump and just the, the little hardware, the camera bump and the buttons, like I said, that does go to the Aspen. So let's talk about materials. Now, let me get my phone out of here. And also, the Aspen is significantly easier to take off. You just kind of, I was able to just get one corner up, get the other corner up, and you just kind of prop it out, and that's it. Now, just because it's a little bit easier to take off does not mean that it's a worse fit or anything like that. Either one of these cases that you slap on to your phone will not come off if you drop them. They're going to both get a nice chunk taken out of them if you drop it because this is full grain leather, but at least the case won't come flying off of your iPhone if you do so happen to drop your phone. Now, both of these have a really nice microfiber material on the inside. The Bullstraps feels a little bit more rough than the Andar. It's just a more so coarse microfiber, but it's still very soft. This one's just a little finer, so you don't feel the texture of it as much, but doesn't matter. Both are going to protect the back of the phone, just as much, so you can't really give one point to the other versus these two cases because it's pretty much the same microfiber material. The sides are also both leather, and that's pretty much it. Now on here, the sides do have little divots for each button, whereas here they're just, you can kind of see where the buttons are placed, but there's no real divots or anything like that. That doesn't really make too much of a difference, but it just comes down to the clickiness of the buttons and how they feel. Now, let's get into one of the most important deciding factors, and that is the price. Now here, we're talking about $90 for the Bullstrap. That's a lot of money for a case. Now I know it's full grain leather, it's really high quality, luxury, premium material, and you gotta pay to play. I get it. But for 90 bucks, you can pick up an Aspen, which by the way is $55, and I have a discount code for that, so you can save yourself some money. I don't have a discount code for Bullstrap. They do have discounts sometimes in sales. Both of them have sales occasionally, so that is something to note. But again, you're talking $90 versus $55 full price. $55 full price for this, $90 full price for that. So, if you were to buy an Aspen, that's $55. You still have another $35 to play with before you get to the cost of the Bullstrap. So you can pick something up like a Spigen Ultra Hybrid Black Frosted for 20 bucks. You can pick certain other cases up and be able to have 2 cases for the price of this one Bullstrap. So that's pretty much it as far as the comparison goes. Both of them feel really good. Premium, super high quality, full grain leather. The Bullstrap just has a little bit better grip, definitely, because this has that sort of waxed coating, and it's not shiny or anything. It's not the kind of wax that leaves any residue on your finger or anything, but I think it's there just to protect the leather a little bit. And both of these are going to patina very nicely. I haven't really developed too much of a patina on either of them, like I said, because of how often I switch cases. I'm changing cases multiple times a day. So, I haven't really developed the patina on here, and I would like to come back with maybe a post or a video and show you guys the patina further down the line on these cases. But either way, you're looking at 2 really, really good leather cases. To be honest with you, I would say these are probably 2 of the best leather cases on the market. Now, I, of course, haven't tried every single case on the market, so I can't necessarily say it 100%, but out of all of the options I've seen, all the options I've used, to be honest with you, the Andar still is my favorite, and in my opinion, the best leather case for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. They both come in a ton of colors, and the Bullstrap is really good too. But just that open bottom, first of all, for the ledge right, the little edge right there, and second of all, for just not having the protection on the bottom. If you were to drop it on now this is just a cable, but if you were to drop it on some sort of surface and hit your phone just right there on that edge, you may damage your phone. Whereas with the Aspen, you have just, even though it's not, the craziest protection, you do have a little bit of a layer of protection there. So if you do drop it, it's not directly hitting the bottom of your phone and scratching that up. It's gonna hit the leather case. Now, will it take a chunk out of it or scratch it? Yeah, probably. I dropped this actually, and if you guys can see, I have a little tiny, like a scratch right there, but that's what you get when you use leather, and that's something that you have to know. This is a super premium material case. It's not really meant there. Either of these cases are not meant for your crazy drop protection. This is a super classy, very nice looking case that you can take to a restaurant, to the club, going out to dinner, whatever you're doing, you can take it. Great in any professional environment, at school, whatever. These are super classy looking, excellent, beautiful cases, and I really could recommend both of them. If I had to pick one over the other, I'm definitely going to go with the Andar Aspen because of the reasons that I mentioned. But if you're a Bullstrap lover, and I know there's a bunch of you guys out there, I love it too, don't get me wrong. Just because I'm picking the Aspen over the Bullstrap doesn't mean I don't like the Bullstrap. So both of these are excellent leather cases. You really cannot go wrong with either of them. But when it comes to the fit, the buttons, the size of it, the protection, I gotta go with the Aspen. Now, one other thing we didn't test that I forgot to test is the MagSafe on the Aspen. So let me go ahead and grab the Apple MagSafe wallet. We'll slap that on, and let's see. Now with this one, you can move it around, give it that little pocket test, and it's not coming off. So the magnet on the Aspen is a little bit stronger in order to be able to hold this leather wallet. As you can see on the Bullstrap, it was slipping off. And even though both of these, actually technically this one should have slipped off a little bit more because of that wax coating and the grip being a little bit better, especially with all the texture right there on that Bullstrap. But either way, with the Aspen, the magnet is a little bit better, so you don't have to worry about this, coming off or anything like that in your pocket. And moving along to our Anchor 623, let's go ahead and take that. And you do have to give it a little bit of a shake, about the same level of shake that you have to give the Bullstrap. And let's do that little 360-degree rotation test. And this thing's not coming off. So, like I said, excellent MagSafe on here. Nobody's really sitting there and shaking their MagSafe base or car mount, but that is something I did want to mention. The MagSafe is a little bit better on the Aspen as well. So, with that being said, both of the links for these cases will be down in the description below. I'm really interested to see the comments on this video. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about both of these cases. Let me know down in the comments below. Please make sure you keep it respectful. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.